Ben Mulderink. He happens to be a young adult as well. He's married and has his first child, and 25, almost. And he's worked for Catholic radio, Sirius Radio, audio-visual video production. And he did a video called I Thirst. I recommend you look it up. It's excellent. And I actually had used it before I even had met him, and so that's kind of how we made this connection. I thought, wow, this is great. So we call him our technology guru, because he is. Annie Tracy is a graduate of University of St. Thomas. She's a marketing specialist, yay, she was a marketing specialist with Proficient, Minneapolis, downtown Minneapolis. She's an SPO alum, and she's our marketing strategist for CEND. So and she's also 25, or maybe a little older than that. But the smart thing about this is that, and you'll hear this theme, pastors and staff, we do good things, but we aren't always the ones to attract the new young people. It's relational ministry that'll be, talked about over and over again, and they need to invite others in to the parish. CEND is all about the parish, and you're going to hear that today as well. So just wanted to make sure you knew the team. Of course, Molly is on our board. We have a six-member board growing. We have a couple more invitations to make, but all of that is on our website. And so I wanted to piggyback now on that video and the message there. What we found out is that if you see the fruits in what you prioritize. So as we look around, we know the statistics. We understand that the church across the nation, the conversation has been about how do we bring in new life, new young adults. There is a USCCB video called The Unaffiliated, Outreach to the Unaffiliated, and it will be also on our CEND website. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you go and watch it. They did an excellent job with this. But it really shows that we're all grappling with how to do this. And I think that CEND has an excellent strategy, and we just want to work together to continue to solve this problem. This is our priority, and I am fully confident that God is blessing it now and will continue to bless our efforts. The time is now. So with these statistics, and the fastest growing category is the fallen away Catholic, the nuns, the unaffiliated. That is very alarming. Want to define the young adult, because many times when we say young adult, we think, oh, that single young adult. But USCCB, again, they define this as 18 to 39, right? So think of all the life transitions that happen in that time frame, from stepping off of the higher education from high school or vocation or college, whatever that may be, into the professional world. We lose track of them. As a Catholic Church, we really don't have any way except through their parents or family, and quite often they've separated from that family to go on, maybe live in other places, or the language about religion is cut off. That has happened in a lot of families. So that's a concern. What are we going to do about that when they are actually, moving from being a single person into marriage, and then marriage with children? We just lose track of them, and they drift away further and further. So I want to read to you just a little bit that's going to be in, we're going to be inviting you to sign on to monthly CEND emails, and we'll have guest writers. The first blog is from me, and I'd like to just read to you a little bit from that blog. A long-standing belief in the church hierarchy is that they would come back once they started a family, but this is no longer the case. With the rise of technology and shifts in social framework, young adults choose their community early and base their life choices on a community that provides a sense of belonging. Belonging is key. They are finding this less and less in the church and more in secular outlets. Young people are no longer interested in an invitation from church hierarchy, parish staff, or even within their family. So these are some of the challenges we're facing. Maybe you're having better luck with that, but I think we can all work together to do better and continue this invitation. So our vision at CEND is that we believe all young adults can find a home in a Catholic parish. And home is the key word. no matter what their background is or where they're coming from, we feel that if that relational ministry is there and that invitation is coming from someone that they trust, will have the greatest impact. One of the things we know as we've looked at this is they need a community to step into, a community with, outside a parish, but also a community within a parish. And then we can begin to work within that community to invite them into a deeper relationship with Jesus Christ. Once they understand what their purpose is, and invite them to take that step into a discipleship role in the parish. CEND will empower young adults to find, connect, and belong to a young adult community and ultimately find an active life in a parish. I'd like to invite Annie to come in and share a few things on how our strategy works.
Thanks, Crystal. So hopefully you understand why we're here. That's been a lot of things that Molly was talking about, the things that Crystal just shared. But really, so what are we actually going to do about it? What can our team do? What can we do together that's actually going to start working with these folks? So back in May, we like to say that we locked ourselves in a room, a COVID-friendly room, right? And really started to put together these ideas and start talking about, first at this archdiocese, but also, across the United States, where are there big opportunities in our church that, are either gaps, opportunities that we haven't capitalized on? And, looking out here at parish staff and volunteers, where are places of aid that are needed? Molly mentioned some, like, maybe it's graphic design with logos and things like that, but what were these big categories? And we came up with 4 of them, and they became our pillars for our organization. So I'll walk you through those really quickly. The first is connection. This, by nature of this event, is really hitting on this first pillar, is we're stronger together at the end of the day. We're all on the same mission, whether we're talking just about young adults or as the church, right? It's the beauty of our universal church. But oftentimes, whether it's parish to parish, you talk about young adult groups, they can be very various all over the archdiocese or throughout just from a geographical standpoint. But if we're all working on the same team as the Catholic Church, there are things that we can learn from each other. There's ways to partner, collaborate, share ideas. I'm looking out here and I know some of you there's been real successes at your parish that for that young adult category. And there's probably somebody else in this room that's sitting like, I thought about trying that. What's the best way to do this? Or I have the same need. And this person found something that worked, and vice versa. We also have things that did not work, right? Maybe avoid these ones, or maybe there's a different parish or young adult group that could really benefit from that particular idea. So CEND hopes to, have more events like this, but also create this network that's working together for this category. Because myself, Crystal, Ben, and Molly, we can't do it on our own. The 4 of us would fail if we didn't invite people into the mission. So we're bringing people together. The next 2, I like to say, really go hand in hand, marketing and technology. As we were talking about our team, Crystal mentioned that I have a marketing background. I've been a digital marketing consultant for the last 4 years. Ben is a technology guru. We're going to change his business card to say that. Right now it just is like technology and production. No, technology guru. But these are 2 areas, as Molly was talking about. Marketing, young adults don't read church bulletins. That's one aspect. I do, because I know that's how the church is trying to market to me. And so I nitpick and I say, oh, this is going on. But we talk about social media and we talk about websites. There's different ways to utilize marketing, and not just to, we have the greatest message in the world, right? But we have to use creative ways to really engage with that young adult category. Msp Catholic helps with part of that, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. But that also comes into technology. Young adults grew up with technology, especially people that are even younger than me. They don't know what life is like without a cell phone or Google or email, right? And so for them to, look at a church bulletin or, any other kind of communication, they might not understand, why isn't this on my phone? Why can't I access this in my normal ways? And I know that there's plenty of people who technology can be scary. I think let's talk about technology and COVID-19. That has thrown a lot of us in our parishes into what we can say maybe the 21st century of technology for our churches. Now, we can't replace one-on-one connection, and we hope not to with technology, but there are ways that we can use technology to amplify our faith. interact with people in ways that they're waiting just for that nudge or that push. And so those two can work really hand in hand, especially for our young adults who are expecting to be reached out to in creative ways and digitally. The last one is resources. And this was one that we saw, from a national level, even a local level. There are so many great resources for our church. It's actually a beautiful thing. In a certain sense, you don't have to recreate the wheel every time you're trying to implement something new or you need an idea. And so what CEND is doing is not just creating this very long list and saying, here's a list of resources, but the idea is we're creating partnerships with some of these great resources, whether that's local speakers, if you're looking for a Bible study, what are the best ones? You're looking for certain programming or things like that. We're hoping to kind of be experts in, especially for that young adult category, what are ones that are really comprehensive and helpful in those different areas. And so those are the 4 big areas of things that we do, areas that I hope I see some head nods. So things that parishes and just our archdiocese are looking for support in. And that ultimately built the foundation for what CEND is all about. So you heard why, what are we looking at, what do we actually do on a day-to-day basis? What does our work look like? And so, as we've mentioned, there's 2 main groups that we work with, young adults and young families, and parishes. So we've created 2 parts of our organization that directly serve both. So on the left, you can see young adults and young families. This is where we have Msp Catholic. Crystal is going to talk in a minute about making parish home, but I'm going to tell you about the young adult one, Msp Catholic. I hope some of you have heard about it. On November 21st, we went live. We were hoping to have 150 young adults in the room behind me. And then, restrictions came up and I think we switched it in about 24 hours to a virtual event. A lot of fun. We were thankful for Ben because he knew how to do that. And we relaunched Msp Catholic. Crystal had mentioned a person named Tim Cahill who had started this idea, seeing that there's a lot of young adult groups. There's a lot of awesome parishes that are doing programming and outreach to young adults, but they're really hard to find. And so Msp Catholic is bringing together all of those resources so that you can find Msp Catholic and navigate your way to the group, the parish, or the event that speaks to you. Not every event is different. Not every parish, every parish is different. Every event can be different, but it's about finding which one is unique for you. And so we are active on social media, we're in email. We've really been going hard at it the last couple months since we launched in November, creating that content that speaks about things that young adults are thinking and talking about. We've got 4 bloggers, a priest, a seminarian, and 2 young moms, one who's in the back taking care of her little one as we speak. And it's just been really awesome to see the work that it's been able to do. We actually have had a handful of folks just in the last month who there was a parish that was having a young adult night and somebody came, they were kind of new to the group, so started talking, how did you find this event? And they said, we just found it on Msp Catholic. And they called me and told me, and I was like, it's working. Okay, great. Like it's you can see all the data and the numbers and you're like, somebody watched our video. Great. But to know that it's actually making an impact. And that woman actually asked, hi, I'm looking for a small group to get a part of. And it's not just showing up to the event, but it's actually becoming involved more deeply in the faith. And so that's the goal of Msp Catholic. It's an avenue to connect with parishes, events, and groups that really cater to that young adult category. So I'm going to have Crystal talk about the parish side.
Let me change that slide. Yeah, okay, great. So as you can see, you've heard the phrase, we just got to meet them where they're at. How do we do that? Because they're all over the place. But this is, Msp Catholic is providing that. We're meeting them where they're at. They're on social media. They are listening to podcasts, and they love to read blogs. So this is where we are going. And there's also this wide range of where they're at. Maybe they're not even Catholic. Well, we're not going to exclude that at all. We're wanting to engage whoever we can catch the eye of. So we have, you'll see it in our blog writers, we have a seminarian, we have a priest who goes really deep. I joke I need to read Father's blog, I have to get a catechism and a dictionary so I know what he's saying. And then we have all the way on the other spectrum, we have a youth minister. He says, I work with 8th graders all the time, and they ask questions, and I said, perfect. Write it for young adults. That'll be an easy entree for some of these folks and their questions, because we want to engage and invite all to come in, and the whole thing is to get them on a path to go deeper and deeper. So I think Msp Catholic is a great launch, and Annie is really good at numbers, so I'm so glad she's there with us, because I'm not. And we're really putting some analytics to it, so we know what is working and what's not, and we can pivot easily to meet their needs. And we're in constant communication with them. Annie didn't mention that there's a lot of these grassroots young adult groups out there in our archdiocese that aren't affiliated with a parish. And then there's a lot of young adult groups that are in a parish. So we're out there talking to all of them and inviting them all. When you go into Msp Catholic, I invite you to mspcatholic.com to look at the website. And it's in your folder. We've got cards. We've got all the information there for you to look it over when you after today. But you'll see that we've invited them. They each get a page. And we advertise their events. We have a Catholic update video and a number of things that weekly emails and daily sometimes, most of the time right now, social media posts on Instagram, Facebook, all across the social media. But I want to talk a little bit about parishes. So, okay, great. We got all of these young adults to come in on Msp Catholic. We're connecting these various groups under this awesome Msp Catholic digital hub. Now what? So what we want to do is have these, ultimately our goal, remember, is to get them to join a parish. We don't want them just to join Msp Catholic and that's it. And many of these young adults don't even know about CEND. So CEND is this business-to-business partnership with parishes. So we want to work with you. Our goal is to help you build a vibrant young adult community at the parish that will provide a sense of belonging and engage young singles, young married couples, and young married couples with children in an active life of discipleship. So that sentence says a lot. It covers a lot of ground. But when we come in and we meet with you, we have these 3 meetings that we want to engage your team. Father wants to be a part of that team. Great, we'd love that. But whoever is really involved with young adults will come in. We just want to sit and listen. And sit and listen to what you see, what you're already doing, what's working for you, what's not working for you. Kind of go through a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats kind of analysis. And then we come back and we give you, we talk about it with our team, and then after talking about it with all of you, and then we come back and work with your team again in that 3rd meeting about how can we strategize, what can we do first. And so we're not coming in and saying, okay, we're going to tell you all about how to do young adults, because we know it. We don't. I mean, we have a lot. We're working really hard on the national scene. I have a lot of connections with different diocese directors of evangelization and those people that are working in this arena. So we're trying to be cutting edge with our information. But the thing is you're the boots on the ground. You have the firsthand experience. And it might just be a problem or a challenge that we can sit and talk about. And we'll formulate a strategy, but again, because time is so valuable and important to you, we just want to say, instead of saying, here's a 10-step process, good luck, we say, let's just take 1 or 2, maybe 2 or 3 things. And just in some of our initial conversations that we've had, just from having the conversation, they'll go back and think about it and maybe change a few things on their website or tweak up certain things, and it's making a difference. Just some of these small conversations. Again, priority will see results. And we're here to help you stay on that path of priority. And so we'll come back then after, hey, that was good. That was simple. That was easier than we thought to implement some of those changes. Now what? What's the next thing? So then we come back and we can say, well, maybe we need to do, start some small groups or whatever it is that you feel that would be beneficial for your parish. We're here to help. Maybe you need some leader training, and we are working on leader training for sure. Especially in that missionary discipleship mode. We have a lot of SPO and Focus alums that live here, and we're going to have one give a testimony, but they want to give back, but they haven't been invited or activated. And so we are working with them. We're gathering them together in this effort, and they're so excited to come in and help. So if you don't have a leader at your parish, maybe we can loan out a leader, because that's what happens then. Other leaders bubble up. Let me just check here and see if there's anything else that I wanted to share before we move on. So one of the strategies that we want you to consider, so we're going to give you some time to talk again, and then we'll have some testimonies. But one of the things that we want you to consider is, as you're talking, is where you're really at right now, and maybe where you could use some of our help. We'd love to come in and chat with you and see where we could partner. One of the strategies that we are using now, and there's going to be others. We have a collection that we're a file that Annie is keeping for us, but we are going to be going to those campuses, true to our word. When those seniors graduate, they fall off the grid and we don't know where they are. So we have a plan to go onto the campuses and invite these seniors to sign up for Msp Catholic. That's an easy thing to do. And hey, if you want to know what's going on in the young adult Catholic community this summer, sign on and be a part of this process of connecting into a young, vibrant community at the Msp Catholic level. But we all know that they don't join a parish, and they've even admitted that to us, that they don't join a parish. So the next step is we've got in late June, a YA conference that we are planning and to invite all young adults to come. So we encourage you, any of your young adults at your parishes, to watch for that. It will be heavily advertised. And again, the message is, we want you to, this is your church. Future of your church is yours. We want you to join a parish. And it's easy and it's simple and nothing to be afraid of. Commitment isn't something you should be afraid of. So, and then the final thing is, in the fall, we want to prepare those parishes that want these young adults. We'll connect them to parishes that have worked with us and have prepared a community for them to come in. We'll have welcome weekends. We want to work with you for how that would look like. And so if you're interested in finding out more about that, please sign up so that we can communicate with you.